All right, we got another packed show today. And before we get started, we'll do a little housekeeping. Make sure you like and subscribe because what is there not to like? And why would you not subscribe? I'm showing you I got a bigger book, the blue book. Blue for the dim libtards. But this is the book of retardation in 2026. And so far this year, we have, and we're 11 days in, I have filled it up. Look at here. There's one, and there's the second. 2 pages worth of retards. So far, 11 days into 2026. Yes, you too can. If you identify an actor, a musician, a podcaster, whoever, maybe somebody on TikTok, whoever. If you think they've done something retarded, let me know. And any of the updated videos or whatever, I check my comment section. Check it, and I will verify if they are retarded. And they will be added to the 2026 Book of Retards. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And at the end of the year, we will go over this book, and we'll see who made the list. And then maybe we'll have to do something like, who's the top 10 retards out of all of them? That might be kind of difficult. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out, but there you go. Well, we've had a tragedy in Canada, and here we have the mainstream media already doing what they always do, is hoax drop on all of us. The media is reporting that a female shooter was responsible for the massacre of people at a school in Canada. Jesse Strange was a man pretending to be a woman. Media is covering up trans violence, and it is insane. As you can see some of these headlines here, you got, let's see here. What is this? Shootings at school and home in British Columbia. Candidate level 10 dead. Leave 10 dead. I couldn't hardly see that. I'm going to have to look over here. Here we go. Canada shooting. 9 killed by female in dress. Why would you have to say a female in dress? Because naturally we would always think, oh yeah, well, a female wears a dress. You had to emphasize the dress onto female, which I found was retarded. So maybe the Gazette needs to make the retarded book for such a retarded headline. I agree. I concur. Yes, the Gazette is going to make the retarded list because that is retarded. Now, I guess Now should make the list too, right? 10 dead, including 9 female suspects. But they emphasize the dress, which puts them a notch above, which really makes them retarded. Female identified as suspect in worst Canada shooting. What is this one? Another one. Let me move this up for y'all. What does this say? Canada school shooting leaves 9 dead as female suspect is identified. Let's see. We got 10 dead, including female suspect. 10 dead in rare Canadian shooting, female suspect. Good Lord. Well, out of all of these, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm sorry, I moved that too far up and I was looking at the other side. I think the Gazette took the retard on the headlines, which tells us what? Let's see here. So y'all can see. Y'all can see. Canada school shooting. 9 killed by female in dress. Yep. They're making the retard list of 2026. Gosh, how many of y'all hate NPR? Oh my God, I can't stand them on the radio. I'm so glad Trump cut them off. They have been a cesspool of propaganda for decades. And here's one of theirs. Shootings at a school and home in British Columbia, Canada leave 10 dead. Vancouver, British Columbia, shooting at a school in British Columbia left 7 people dead while 2 more were found dead at a nearby home. Canadian authorities said Tuesday a woman who police to believe the shooter was killed. NPR is definitely retarded. Look at this. Look at this. Let's see if I can get this down for you. Wow. All of these people. Look at here. Denver school shooter. Devine Dickerson identified as a trans. Why are a lot? What is happening in Denver? Denver two school shooter two trans. Albert Shooter. He was black trans. Here's another one. Let me pull this up for you so y'all could see the bottom. Here's Nashville shooter Andrea Hale identified as trans. Are you serious? Let me get this over here for you. I am having a lot of technical difficulties. This did enhance it a little bit. Let's see. Here we go. Here's another one. Here is another one. Trans. Unconfirmed. Georgia shooter. Now he's, what is this? Trans unconfirmed? What? Dylan Butler. Unidentified as gender fluid. I guess unconfirmed. What was he? Unconfirmed trans? What are they saying here? Philadelphia shooter Kimberly Carrier identified as trans. Colorado Springs shooter Anderson Lee Aldrich identifies as non-binary. What is happening here? I mean, you don't need to conduct a research study to identify that there is an undeniable pattern of violence here. Other trans persons just shot 35 people and killing 10 in Canada. So he killed his. We're gonna look and see. I think he killed his mother as well, guys. Giving mentally ill people cross-sex hormones to affirm a delusion is dangerous. So I've been seeing a lot of this morning that they're now this is the first time I've heard of this, like giving these people these different hormones and stuff. I need to see some more studies, but it's probably makes sense though that it's making them cray cray. Look at all these shooters, and every one of them have been transgender. Every one of them. Look at here. We don't have a gun problem. We have a liberal mentally illness problem. And all these people on this page right here have killed somebody. I really like what this person posted on X. And they said a psychotic and probably always sadistic young man decides the answer to all of his problems and mental distress is that he's actually a woman. He's pumped up full of prescribed drugs based on a wide range of diagnoses, none of which include batshit crazy. Yeah, I said it. And I have been doing really well. But in this context, I mean, that's an actual term. I don't think that's like a curse word. Batshit crazy. Nope, it's a term. He's pumped himself up full of street drugs on top of that. The world sends him the message that he's being genocide because he's trans. He takes up arms because he thinks the world wants him dead, a lie fed to him by the entire culture and media machine. I don't know why he would think that. I mean, does the media think that? I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here, but he's probably got a point. He kills his family and school children in one of the worst massacres in Canada's history. The media calls him a woman in a brown dress, then stops talking about him, then shifts to gun person because we need to respect his pronouns in death. This is the state of things. Now Canadians will blame his actions on the awful anti-transness in the world, not the fact that he was a drug addict, psycho, unleashed, and made worse by the trans medical industrial complex. Wow, that was dead on, guys. Dead on. Wow. Let's not forget the guy who killed Charlie Kirk, assassinated Charlie Kirk, was trans himself. He was dating some guy who is a furry or whatever the heck that is. And it's like this guy's saying this didn't age well. The mother of Jesse Strange, which that's the guy who just killed all those people in Canada. The mother of Jesse Strange was a hardcore trans activist who wanted transgender children. She was murdered by her own mass murder son, who she began transitioning as a child. And he kills her. This is insane. Wow. The irony in Jennifer Strange's 2024 Instagram advocacy for protecting trans kids from hate. This is his mother. As her son Jesse, supported in transitioning since childhood, murdered her and 9 others in a February 11th, 2026 shooting in Turbulent Ridge, British Columbia. Jesse Strange, an 18-year-old who is identified as transgender since 2023, killed 10 people and wounded over 35 at Timberland Ridge Secondary School, marking one of Canada's deadliest mass shootings. Strange was found dead at the scene, per Canada police reports. This thread replies to outrage over parental influence in youth transition, with users speculating on family dynamics like abused father, fueling debates on mental health and ideology, impacts without census on accusations. Let's see, compared to other schools, broader youth. No, we're just telling you, I'm just letting you know that this boy's mom, he's 18 years old. He's not really a boy anymore, but you all know we're still retarded at 18. She condoned him having this done to him at a young age, and he turns around and kills her. Let that sink in to you retards out there doing this to your children. Now it brings us to this. A drag queen named Anna Molly has demanded for Arizona lawmakers to reject a bill that would make it a felony to perform drag in front of minors. Wow.
As a woman, there are 0 proven statistics showing that.
Sorry, let me get this straight for you guys. I hit the button and it's just not cooperating with me today. Nothing unusual. Here we go. Let's see what this retard has to say.
There are 0 proven statistics showing that children are harmed from going to drag shows. As a woman of God and someone who understands how drag spreads love and joy, and children always leave laughing and happy, I ask you to please oppose this bill. I have performed at all ages events. The following directions are always given to me when I do these shows. Please keep sexually explicit content out of your songs and performances. Please choose age-appropriate songs, so no cursing or hateful messages. We understand the seriousness of keeping children safe as much as you do. If you haven't been to an all-ages show, I'd recommend it, so you can have a moment of shared laughter as you watch a drag queen do a crunchy cartwheel to Let It Go from Frozen. There are 0 proven statistics showing that children are harmed from going to drag.
Okay, number one is, how many eyes does this person have? I mean, what is this? I would think a child would be terrified of this, would be scared to death of this. But there's no evidence this doesn't harm children. Well, we just have evidence of an 18-year-old young man just went and murdered a bunch of people, including his mother. And she was a proponent. She was all about some trans and helping him and all of this crap. Now, I would like to know is, I don't know if we could find out, or unless his friends, or he wrote a diary. I mean, did his mother push him to this? Because y'all have all seen these parents taking their kids and going, oh, well, he just picked up a doll, he must be trans. So then they start dressing him like a girl at 3 and 4 years old. I mean, start this nonsense. So when did the nonsense start with him? And then now, boom. And you have, I just showed you pictures of all these other murderers who were trans. So maybe we will have some documentation, or we need to get some documentation. What is it doing to the brain by giving him either hormone blockers and this whatever, the hormone therapy? Like, what's it doing to them mentally? And that's a good question. So we already know that some bills are being passed that you can't mutilate children anymore. Plus, we had that $2 million lawsuit with that woman, where when she was 16 years old, they had removed her breasts, and then boom, now she's in her early 20s, and she's like, my God, why did y'all do this to me? Well, at least she had the sense to not go and just pick up a weapon and start killing people. I don't know, guys. This is very, very demonic.
Shows as a woman of God and
as a woman of God. Well, you just lied. How could you? God doesn't like liars. You are not a woman. This is insane. This is completely insane. I thought this poster was good. It says, don't ask why children need to see drag queens. The question is, ask why drag queens crave the audience of children. That's a darn good question. I mean, here's a literal picture of these drag queens performing in front of children. It's sick and demonic. So what this person Molly's doing, and I don't know, maybe its name is Mark or Matt or something like that, is obviously is a drag queen performer. And testifying against Arizona's HB 2589, which advanced in committee on February 4, 2026, and would classify exposing minors to drag shows as a Class 4 felony, punishable by up to 3.75 years in prison. Oh, man. Boom. Shakalaka, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Anna Molly argues in the video that all ages drag events feature no proven harm to children, enforce age-appropriate content without explicit material, and foster joy through laughter and performance. Oh, we won't play songs with explicit lyrics, but they'll sit there and grind their pelvis. Y'all have seen some. I didn't go and research it, but I know y'all have. There have been people who posted videos of a drag show and little kids are there and they're just all hunching themselves and rubbing their crotch, and it's disgusting. So, oh, please let us, we'll make sure we won't use explicit language. Just let us dance in front of the kids. Why or do you want to dance in front of these kids so bad? Go away. Go back under the rock you crawled under, and good God, get back in the closet. Go back in the day where nobody cared, when y'all had your little clubs and y'all did this stuff at night. For sure. Posted February 9th, the video garnered a whole lot of stuff, but I just wanted to give you an outline on the outrageousness that we are under assault from all of this, and there are consequences for all of this. Look what happened in Canada. Look what's happened across our country. Look at all the trans guys. It seems like lately that's been who's been doing all the mass killing, is these men think that they're women. I got a few more things in the stack of stuff, but I thought maybe this is a good time to let's touch upon this, because we've just seen a lot of heinous stuff, didn't we? These trans men, which they're not trans, they're just men who have a delusion. God, you got me saying it, trans men. Oh my God, I need to stop. I have to stop and breathe. These men with delusional fantasies, thinking that there's something that they're not, and then you have the left agenda pushing that, yes, you can, and well, here's some drugs to do it. And then that just fuels this. Like I said a minute ago, I'm wondering if there's going to be some studies on how is this affecting their brain, their emotion. Plus, he's still 18. He was still 18 when he did this. I mean, he's still not fully grown. His brain's not fully developed until he's like 25. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on by the time you reach puberty until the time you hit 25. There's a whole lot of cray-cray going on, right? Your emotions are mixed. You live in the moment. We were all teenagers. We know this. So you're just going to put these crazy drugs in front of them. And God, they probably doing drugs that are on the street too, as well. But I don't know. And then you've got this cocktail, and then this delusion that they know it can't be real. Maybe this is what drove them to go crazy. I don't know. The demons were barking, and this is what happened. I don't know, guys. I'm just rambling on here, aren't I? Just rambling on. Are the end times near? Frank Turk's warning revelation of why second coming is vile. Let's see what he says. Y'all recognize him? He was, I think he was the guy that was with, I might be wrong, but I don't know if he's part of TPUSA, but he's a Christian, and I think he was there that day that happened. I could be wrong, guys. As Christians ponder where America's experienced revival, apologist Frank Turkett is digging a bit deeper, noting it's essential that people don't just get spiritual renewal, but they become disciples. He also addressed some of the confusions in date setting that sometimes arises in theological discussions about the end times. How do you make disciples? How do you make people that actually follow Jesus? That just people that say, I got fire insurance, I'm going to heaven. He told Bible Pros podcaster host Billy Howell and Dalton Harper. Jesus didn't say, come make believers. He said, come make disciples. And that means carrying your cross and doing things that you might not normally want to do. It means denying yourself and following him. And that's hard. With so much spiritual activity underway, Turkett was asked whether it's possible for both chaos and renewal to occur in the U.S. at the same time. That's a good question. Because, guys, my God. The ICE crap, the woke crap. You just saw the trans people, like they're aliens. I mean, they're still trying to double down and try to go against what most parents want is not, and they don't want that. The conversion gets especially interesting when it comes to speculation about the end times. I would venture to say that no one knows when Jesus is coming back. I agree. And my source is on that Jesus that is Jesus. He said, when people keep saying, oh, yeah, I know he's coming back. Oh, things are getting worse. It's going to happen. I say, hold on. Jesus said, no one knows the day, the hour, the times, nor the season. I'm coming like a thief in the night. Turek's point is that no one knows when Jesus will return, and he believes that the end time specifics are veiled for a reason. Just like Jesus' first coming, Paul says, 1 Corinthians 2, that if these things were known, that the forces of the world would have crucified the Lord of glory, he said. When you look back on the Old Testament prophecies in the light of the New Testament, you go, oh, now I see how all these passages fit together. But looking forward, if you're in the Old Testament, you don't really know this is going to happen. He continued, and if Satan knew that murdering Jesus was actually Satan's defeat, he never would have instigated it. And so the Lord kept that message coming veiled for a reason. Turk said that not knowing the day and the hour also prevents people from assuming that they have time living however they choose, and then simply planning to repent at the last minute. Not good, guys, to do that. The apologist encouraged people to spend more time ensuring others learn about Jesus. While it's unclear when Christ will return, it's a guarantee that most people alive today will die within the next 100 years. Well, I think I'm certainly going to. You know your life's going to end here on earth, Turk said. You better deal with that instead of worrying about when he's going to come to the end. The whole show. He also spoke about the importance of not just telling people to believe, but showing them why Christianity is true. I mean, why you should be a Christian and not an atheist or a Muslim or a Hindu or a Buddhist, or make up your own world religion or your own personal religion like so many people do today, Turk said. The reason you ought to be a Christian is because it's true. Because there's evidence that God exists, that Jesus rose from the dead, that the Bible is telling the truth, that you're a falling human being. And guys, I just thought that was fantastic, and that was fabulous. I believe he has a YouTube channel, Apologist Frank Turkett, speaks at Cornerstone Chapel in Leesburg, Virginia. Check him out on YouTube. I just thought that article was dead on. I mean, we don't know when it is, but I mean, we had what Jesus told us, well, in John in the book of Revelation is saying when we have signs and and we'll see things, and we need to keep vigilant of what's and paying attention to what's going on. Absolutely. We need to be paying attention and watch people by their fruits. And all the false prophets that we see, and all the antichrists we see, like Oprah Winfrey is an antichrist. So is Candace Owens. Did y'all see the latest? Candace Owens is saying Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica Kirk, should be in jail right now. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, she is saying that. And she is... you know what I don't like, guys? Is that the pundits, when I'm reading these articles, are citing Candace Owens as a conservative for the Republican. And no, she is not. I don't know what the heck she is, but she is not a conservative Republican, and she's not a Christian. The things that she spouts, do not compare her to that. Don't compare Tucker Carlson. Just because in the past he came across as conservative, he is some left wacko. Like, what has happened to him? Maybe he is possessed by a demon. I don't know. But he can go to Dubai, and he can go to all these other places and hobnob with the Muslims and be sympathetic to Hamas and sympathetic to the Palestinians. And then you got Candace Owens on the other side just saying the most horrendous things about Jews. Guys, do not compare them to conservative Christians no more. Stop it. Stop it right now. You just disavow them is what I am telling you to do. Because you know them by their fruits, and you should know them by what's coming out of their mouth. Liberals are fuming mad over the removal of pride flags in Christopher Park by the National Park Service. Obama designated it as a national monument. But guess what Trump did? Trump says only American flags will fly on those flagpoles. I voted for this. I voted for this. Did y'all vote for this? Did you?
New at noon, outrage growing after the National Park Service removed the pride flag from outside of the Stonewall National Movement in Greenwich Village. Comes after President Trump issued an executive order which bars any flag other than the U.S. flag from flying on flagpoles managed by the National Park Service. The only exception is for flags authorized by Congress or the Parks Department. The pride flag was located in Christopher Park near the Stonewall Inn, which was designated a national monument by then-President Obama in 2016. The Stonewall Uprising in 1969 considered the start of the modern LGBTQ plus movement. New at noon,
Just another retarded organization. But yeah, no more flags. Bye-bye, Felicia. Take your flags and stick them where the sun don't shine. I mean, I would think that this would be kind of some signs of the breakdown of a society as well, where we allowed a lot of these things to happen in the guise of the Constitution, that it's free to do whatever you want to do. You have a right to do it. I think it has its drawbacks, guys. I mean, this is supposed to be a reverend, Murray, a they-them pastor, whose church bio explains he's into astrology, tarot, and the science of perfumery. What is perfumery? I gotta look that up. It just brought up perfume when I looked it up. It's retarded. Reveals that they've covered the outside of the church with 100,000 shimmering sequences to celebrate being alphabet soup affirming. Yes, he did. That's what he did, ladies and gentlemen. This is a church to welcome people in. Well, how do they preach from the Bible? Do they just eliminate the parts that say that this is an abomination? We just ignore the parts we don't like? We ignore that part where it says it'd be better off you put a millstone around yourself and slung yourself off a cliff before you harm a child. Now, I'm just paraphrasing, but you get the point. Are they just ignoring all of this? What is happening?
Well, hi there. I am the Reverend Keith Murray, and I'm really excited to talk to you about, well, this. I'm here at Knox United Church, and, you know, you may be getting questions about Why have a pride flag in your sanctuary or outside? What do all the new colors mean? Well, our community decided to create this to answer that. A document that looks at the history of organizing using color symbols, also the movement of LGBTQ and SOGI inclusion in the United Church of Canada. But we didn't stop there. Oh no. Follow me. Together with multiple volunteers for multiple weeks with months together, 30 plus people, we put 100,000 shimmering sequins to create the Knox Glitter Rainbow. This was our answer to be public, intentional, and explicit, and to have this up for multiple years, a way of shining a light and sparkle in the city. And you know what? If they get damaged, well, this is the Rainbow Repair Kit. So you can see here, take one of these, and if one is missing, just like that. Brand new. So if you want to learn more about being in creativity and community together and a way we can add more sparkle to your community, join us for the crafting community on February 18th in preparation for Pi Day this year. Well, hi there.
Oh my God. Look, there's been so much happening, like the past, gosh, maybe since a little after Biden took office, it seems like it really ramped up of the evilness and the demonicness. And I know the music industry's been doing it too, but they got even more blatant in their videos as well, guys. Very demonic. Just right in your face, no hiding it. Biden and them bringing in all of these murders and stuff. I mean, they like the blood. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, obviously. But there has been a rampant... I mean, I'm 60 years old. This is crazy. The past several years have been just unprecedented in the filth and the depravity and this. I mean, you think we'd be talking about this 10, 15, 20 years ago? These gay churches, the Catholic Church, they finally let a woman start being what are they? What the heck are they anyway? Priests, whatever they call them. I have a problem with the Catholics as well. I think they worship idols. They're idol worshipers. They pray to saints. They pray to images or to Mary and all of this other crazy stuff. Yeah, I said it. And what's this counting the beads and holding the beads? Let me count them. Let me just count them and let me say a couple Hail Marys and then, to some guy. Yeah, I got a problem with Catholics. That's all I got to say about that. But this, I really have a problem with this. What is happening here? And this is supposed to be a church and they're calling himself a reverend. Yep. Seems like it's the end times, don't it? Here's just another little update. Transgender teen murders 9, injures dozens in high school shooting in Timberland Ridge, Canada. 17-year-old Jesse Strang opened fire at a Timber Ridge secondary school in British Columbia, killing 8 people in total before taking his own life. Now, see, I didn't know that he took his own life. I thought maybe the police shot him. Police found 5 victims inside the school, 2 more at a nearby residence. Another person died on the way to the hospital. Around 25 children were injured. Strange, a biological male who began identifying as a female around 2023, had a YouTube account featuring the trans flag and ASKS rifle. Let's see, what is this video? I don't even know what this is. I guess it's just somebody filming the ambulance from the incident. It's just 18 seconds of that. What is happening? That looked like a truck. Does that even look like an ambulance? Well, there's lights on the top. What an odd looking ambulance. Well, there you go. Oh my God. This is him, y'all. Deadliest school shooting in decades yesterday. He killed his mother and brother at home. Then opened fire at Timber Ridge Secondary School, killing 9 before turning the gun on himself. He started transitioning at age 15 and was prescribed heavy SSRs. Transgender violence is real. Wow. Well, that answered my question on that one. So he started transitioning when he was 15. So he's been doing this for 3 years. His retarded mother enabled him to do this. And don't say, oh, Rochelle, she's dead. You shouldn't talk ill of the dead. No. This has nothing to do with that. She was a retard. Promoting this for her son. Obviously, there's something wrong with him. And he was taking drugs. Wow. Plus, look at him. He probably got beat up at school. I don't know. I'm just saying. Looking like that. As a side note, I don't think women should have any rights and alphabet soup should be executed. Wow, the woman says. What a complete primitive asshole you are. You must be a Republican. No, I'm actually a Muslim. And those are my religious beliefs. The woman says, oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I hope you don't think I'm Islamophobia. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Muslims 101. What they believe. Nope, women don't need to have rights or vote or speak. You are a second-class citizen. Yep, there you go. Here we have a story. Meta researchers warn executives that 500K kids per day were targeted by creeps on Instagram and Facebook. Bombshell docs. But before we read that article, looky here, you have a 29-year-old man arrested after using Fortnite, Roblox, and Snapchat to groom and exploit a child. Florida AG James Orthermer calls... Did I even say his name right? Let me see. Orthermer? Uthermer? Thermer? Let's just say Thermer. Calls out parents for not monitoring their kids' online activity. Here. I'd say there's no better safeguard than a parent mother hawking over their children and their brains, their eyes, and their ears. Parents need to wake up, Uthermer said. According to Uthermer, 29-year-old Justin Akins of Rhode Island groomed and exploited a child in Florida. Authorities say Akins coerced the victim into making and sending hundreds of you-know-what pictures and videos. It's a place where a stranger and an adult in another state can get access to your little girl, Hubbard said online platforms. We've got to spend a little bit more time looking over the shoulder of our kids to see what they're doing and who they're doing it with and what platforms they're spending a lot of time with, said former Secretary of Service Agent Bobby McDonald, according to Como News. And there's the lovely citizen here, right here. Isn't that lovely, Joan?
Parents have to wake up. This is yet another day where we're here to announce a predator that got to a minor, a young girl, and took advantage of her online using social media applications. Today we're here to announce the arrest of 29-year-old Justin Adkins of West Warwick, Rhode Island. Again, this is happening from other states, parents. People from other states are getting to your kids online and taking advantage of them. Justin Adkins is currently facing charges, 2 child molestation charges in Rhode Island. And here we have taken him down after he developed a relationship with a young girl, a minor, online. They met through the gaming app Fortnite. From there, they moved to Snapchat. That's what the icon looks like. After meeting and talking on Snapchat, he then sent Robux using the app Roblox to give this young girl, lavish goods. He sent her an iPhone because he wanted better content
Wow.
in the imagery. If you see these apps, you need to be prepared. You need to look at the tools that are available to you to, review and monitor the content on your children's phones. You need to decide, do you even want the child to have this application in the first place?
True that.
It's dangerous.
True that. And where was the parent? Like, they didn't see that this came in the mail? That they received a phone? Where'd you get that? And then the kid has a phone? It's like, where did you get this phone? What are you doing? Top Meta researcher warned the company's executives that there could be as many as 500,000 cases of online exploitation per day on Facebook and Instagram, according to explosive documents that were unsealed on the eve of a landmark jury trial. So there's another thing going on, too. I think I heard it on the radio, or I might have read something last night, that they're looking into Facebook and these other platforms that they had put in place. It was on the radio. They had put in place either somehow to fix the algorithm or whatever they were doing to they let me just put it this way. I know, right? I don't make sense. They designed these applications to make you addicted. I guess that's the only way I can put it, is that to addict your child. And they're using algorithms, they're sophisticated stuff to keep your kid wanting to come back on it. So I guess obviously TikTok, they're all on TikTok, Instagram, I guess, and maybe some kids use Facebook. I don't know. I think most of them are either on Instagram or what's that other chat thing that they use? And then obviously Roblox and these different platforms they were designed to captivate your kid and keep them coming back for more. So I think they're going to be having some hearings on that. Opening arguments begin Monday in New Mexico. Attorney General Raul Tazara case is in state court, which accuses Mark Zuckerberg, a social media giant, of exposing kids to the twin dangers of, exploitation and mental health harm through creepy messages, sextortion schemes, and human trafficking. The result, the state claims, is a teen social media crisis that has led to anxiety, depression, self-harm, and increasingly offing yourself. I think this ties into what I was saying, that they're going to hold them. I don't know what they're going to do about it. How are they going to stop them from creating these apps that make you want to keep coming back for more? I have no clue. Ahead of the trial, the state's lawyer cited an internal email in which Mola Andreas, who held child safety-related roles at Meta from August 2017 to August 2024, wrote that creeps targeted 500K victims per day in English markets only with blank, inappropriate messages. Why only in English markets only? We expect that the true situation is worse, Andrews said in June 2020 email, according to the court records. In another chilling message, Andreas noted that the massive user bases on Facebook and Instagram have effectively handed predators a tool to target kids on a scale that was previously unimaginable. Wow. I just think nowhere in the history of humanity could you have a secret conversation with 1,000 people, she wrote. I'm actually scared of the ramifications here. New Mexico's lawsuit is one of several legal battles Meta faces this year, and it will seek to shine a light on safety lapses that have caught the attention of the U.S. lawmakers on Capitol Hill. They could care less. Yeah, I said it, and even the Republicans on there. I remember Rush Limbaugh one time was talking about, he never named names, but he would go to these Republican conventions or parties or whatever, and he said the way they talked about conservatives and about the abortion issue, they could care less about it. They didn't want nothing to do with it. They were just like, the Christians. Like he said, he was appalled how their attitude is. When they're in your face, they're going to tell you what you want to hear. Yeah, I said it. I'm starting to not trust any of them. Last week, A bellwether trial accusing Meta and Google-owned YouTube of fueling social media addiction in young users began in California, with hundreds of victims, families, and school districts as plaintiffs. Elsewhere, the FTC last month appealed its loss in a major antitrust lawsuit seeking a breakup of Meta. Maybe they should have a breakup of Meta. The multiple trials accusing Meta of exposing children to harm are a split screen of Mark Zuckerberg nightmares, according to Satya Hathworth, executive director of the Tech Oversight Project at Watchdog Group. These are the trials of generations, just as the world watched courtrooms hold big tobacco and big pharma accountable. We will, for the first time, see big tech CEOs like Zuck take the stand, said Harsworth. The world is watching. Meta's reckoning has arrived. The consequences have just begun. I hope so, because I don't know what they can do about it. I really don't. Adults are addicted to it, too. New Mexico's case has been closely watched in part because of the garnished details that arose during its probe of Meta's practices. Text accounts set up by state investigators were allegedly bombarded with adult you-know-what content and outraged from alleged child predators, including pictures and videos of genitalia and an offer of a six-figure payment to star in a porn video, the lawsuit claims. My God. In other emails detained in pretrial filings, Andrus alleged ripped the age verification tools meant to keep underage users off Instagram, warning that they were easily fooled. Our investigators have given feedback that almost every time they encounter an age liar on IG or in a child safety content, the age prediction is incorrect, aligns with the age that falsely claims to be, Andrus wrote according to the court documents. So what are they going to do? Now, I was watching, Osmond Gold did a video. I watched it last night, and he was basically talking about Discord. So they were talking about how Discord's going to have a new thing rolling out, and he was discussing it. And basically, there's going to be an age verification. So how are they going to do that? Okay, so they're going to have to either show your face, right? And Osmond Gold kind of reflected on, which I thought was interesting, what he was talking about, is when kids are chatting, like you'll know how old they are. It's almost like if you talk to somebody, they open their mouth, they're like, yeah, they're a kid, they're stupid, right? Right, they're 15, 16, 14. You could tell, right? You could totally tell. So he was saying that they could have some kind of algorithm or some kind of whatever they add to the data or whatever, how they do it to tell how old you are by how you're typing. Like he was saying, if they were saying 6, 7 a bunch of times, they'd boom, ban, you're too young. But if you said something like Calabunga dude, they'd probably give you free stuff so you'd stay on longer because they know you're old. It was kind of funny, but I mean, maybe there could be some lividity to that they could come up with something like that to have some kind of algorithm to see how your speech patterns are and what's the conversations about. Realizing how old you are. Are you always using acronyms? Are you actually typing? A Metadata spokesperson said the internal discussions cited in the filings took place as part of an active effort by the company to protect kids. While New Mexico makes sensationalist, irrelevant, and distracting arguments, we're focused on demonstrating our long-standing commitment to supporting young people, the spokesperson said in a statement. For over a decade, we've listened to parents, worked with experts and law enforcement, and conducted in-depth researches to understand the issues that matter most. Well, apparently they haven't done nothing because it's gotten worse. And parents don't even pay attention. They just give their kid the phone. Go leave me alone because they're lazy. Giving them a phone. Has access to the world. Unbelievable. I never understood it. I still don't understand it, why parents do that. Just because all the other kids have it, don't mean I'm getting it. I think it was about my kid's 15, still doesn't have a phone. Yeah, I said it. I think it was like 2 years ago, he came in my room. He was crying. I might have told this story before. I sat up. I was like, what? What's wrong? I thought something was wrong with him. He's like, I'm the only kid that don't have a phone. I just busted out laughing. That made him even madder. He's like, I was like, really? Really? There could be other things you could be crying about, and you're crying about that? Yep. Andrews, who left Meta in 2024 and now works in an online safety role for an open AI, did not return a request to comment. No way. They didn't come back to talk about it. Look, I made a choice. I told him, you start showing me maturity, which he is. He's doing good. And then at some point, yeah, you're going to get a phone. Yeah, at some point he's going to get a phone. But he certainly didn't need one in 5th grade. He didn't need one in 6th grade. And I still don't think he needs one yet. Now, we've talked about getting him one that it's totally like he's just could call family members. It's not like he can get a whole bunch of, because even 15-year-olds, guys, can be highly influenced. And I told him that. I said, it's my job to protect your mind. I said, when you're grown and gone, you're going to do what you want, obviously. But my job is to try to protect you as long as I can or how I can. And that's just my job. And if I fail, I don't want to fail. So I can only do what I can do, what I think is right. And I think these devices are dangerous in a kid's hand. They're dangerous. Obviously. The state argued Andrews had deep knowledge in Meta's handling of the on-blank abuse problem because she worked extensively on the internal research, including serving as a member of Groomers Task Force, which examined adult predators who solicited minors. Mrs. Andrews also commented on Meta's failure to adequately invest in child safety, the misleading nature of some of its publicly reported child safety metrics, and the undisclosed immaturity of Instagram's child safety measures, the state's filing. I don't think they care. I mean, I was like, who is Mr. Beast? Remember when all that crap came out about Mr. Beast? And I'm like, who the heck is that? So I go like looking and researching this Mr. Beast, because apparently he's like in the top 5 most subscribed people on YouTube. And his stuff is retarded. And it's directly directed to young children. All his garbage, right? So I was watching, some guy had did a hit piece on him, so I was watching it. So they were showing how he was selling his Mr. Beast shirts, right? Or hoodies and stuff. They were like $60, man. Shirts, $45. I'm like, this is retarded. $45 for a t-shirt? Like $65, $70 for a hoodie? Are you serious? And then like he's acting like he's signing it, and some other guy was signing it but didn't sign it. The other guy signed Beast's name. Yeah, it was retarded. But what caught me though, what grabbed my attention is where do all these young people have this money to spend? And it's their parents allowing them to have access to Mr. Beast, YouTube, the phone, and a credit card. Because this guy's made millions upon millions off young children buying his garbage. Ahead of the trial, Meta's attorneys tried to block any mention of several sensitive topics, including the company's AI chatbots. Research surveys detailing the harmful effects of its products on mental health, and details of the bombshell uncovering operations that New Mexico investigators conducted to reveal instances of online you-know-what abuse. Well, we're talking about the chatbots too. We're helping a kid along to off himself. First Judicial District Judge Brian Brettschild ultimately rejected the request during pre-trial hearings. Let's go. Elsewhere, internal documents showed that Zuckerberg signed off on allowing minors to use Meta's AI chatbot companies, even after safety staffers warned that they could be used for romantic or sexualized conversations. Reuters was first to report on the documents. Wow, Reuters did that? What? Reuters is so left. Terrorists had aggressively criticized Zuckerberg ahead of the trial, as the Post reported in December. He derided the Instagram implication of PG-13 rating systems to shield kids from illicit content as a dangerous promotional stunt that lures parents into false sense of security. Meta has fired back, accusing Torres of making claims that are littered with factual errors and misrepresentations and ignoring the company's progress in improving guardrails for the children. I think they're all full of crap. I think they all knew what they were doing. They all know what they're doing. It's all about the money, baby, because these kids, like I said, I couldn't believe how much money was being spent. Young people buying crap just for Mr. Beast. There was something else when all this, apparently there is a massive, maybe we could talk more about that on another show, of gambling in America. It's like bad. And now it's being targeted to children. It's being targeted to children in everything they do. And in the games that they play, it's teaching them how to gamble. Yep. Look at this lovely painting. If I pay another woman to do what I do for my children, she would be called a professional doing important work. But if I do the exact same work myself for my own children, then I'm just wasting my life and my potential. Welcome to feminist reasoning. Now, should I read that again? If I pay another woman to do what I do for my children, she would be called a professional doing important work. But if I do the exact same work myself for my own children, then I'm just wasting my life and my potential. Feminazis 101. I think we could take a playbook from Denmark. Denmark has long been hailed as a digital champion with online public services, digital IDs, and tablets in schools as early as 2011. But authorities are now shifting course in the education and social sectors following alarming figures on children's mental health and school performance. A massive return to analog life is underway. Mobile phones are banned in schools and after-school clubs, and return to pre-digital learning is being rolled out, and social media will soon be banned for anyone under 15. Here. What? This is what we need to do. We don't need any computers in the school unless you have a computer class and you're learning how to write program or build a computer. Not be on the computer all day. We want books back in the hands of kids because of their mental health. So now you want to, Rochelle, you just seem so mean. Your kid's 15 and he doesn't have a phone. Well, look what's happening around the world. This is happening everywhere, not just America. And this country recognizes that this affected their mental health. So yeah, I did right. And I'm going to continue to do what I think is right. All right, we got this and then a funny. And then we are done. And we're going to wrap up today's Wednesday show. Now, I did have something else, but it's disturbing. It had to do with illegals that... was kidnapping young girls, and they murdered one of them. And it's just another line. Maybe I'll use it in another show where we could talk about everybody's been covering it. Why these leftards rioting about ICE, but yet these are the kinds of people we need to get out of the country. And there was a heinous story I came across that just another reflection on why we need these people out of here. So I came across this young lady's, her name is Ashley Hayes. She posted it on X, and she says the church is no longer using discernment. The church is no longer in their Bibles, and it shows. The world stage is now seen as the pulpit. As long as someone says Jesus or mentions God, they are a Christian. The bar as being a Christian is in the dirt. And it's the perfect prime position for man of sin to step into the scene. She's probably right about that. Now, she's going to say something similar. I did watch a little bit of this. It's like I said in my show, 2 days ago, I did a show on the Super Bowl crap. And then you had TP USA, and then you had the Super Bowl. And I felt like Guys, you always need to have your armor of God on and have some kind of discernment. So I'm basically paraphrasing myself, but I said I didn't watch either one. I didn't watch either one of them. I don't want to hear this. And it's kind of odd too. And I know people have said this to me, have asked me questions about this, because I was a musician. You can go look at some of my videos that I have on my channel. I had a band. There's old videos from songs from the 1980s that was on cassette. I ended up getting it digital and making a video of the band Sacred, Wildfire with my niece later, and then later on I did things on my own by playing 2 backtracks. But over the years I got to where there's just a lot of music I don't want to hear. Because I just, maybe I'm awake, thank God, that this is inappropriate. A lot of songs, Led Zeppelin, all of them. I mean, it's the lyrics, or it's about the lyrics. Yeah, I like the music. Boy, there's tons and tons of killer riffs from Led Zeppelin, which I cut my teeth on learning how to play guitar. But the thing is, I realized there is something more to this. Now, I don't think a lot of this music does glorify God. I don't even know what music would be characterized to glorify God. I have no idea. I really don't. Because God is just beyond comprehension, and how could I comprehend how to even come up with a song to glorify Him? Now, there are some good Christian songs that have beautiful lyrics, and I don't even trust those industries either. I don't. Call me skeptic. I don't care, but I think if they're out making millions upon millions upon millions of dollars, I mean, where is this money going? Is it actually going to people, or this is just another corporation to exploit Christians into buying their music? This is how I look at it. I mean, you could take Billy Graham. Look at his modest home he lived in. It was a 1 ranch level home, modest home. He never bought a bloody mansion and had private jets and all of this craziness. You can learn from that. I'm just saying. Well, let's hear what she has to say. I sped it up 1 notch so we can get through it.
Millions are praising this as a Christian show, saying that Kid Rock preached more gospel in a verse than pastors do in a month. Damn. So after he sang about hookers and meth, he slaps the name of Jesus on the end of it, and the church applauds and labels him as a Christian. Just like Chloe, just like Nikki, just like Jelly. Don't some of you see a pattern here? Don't some of you see what is happening with celebrities on the world stage? All somebody has to do now is get out on a stage, get behind a camera, mention God, or say the name Jesus, and boom, they are a spirit-filled follower of the Lord Jesus Christ. The bar for being a Christian now is literally in the dirt. And then people will say, well, wouldn't you agree it's better than watching Bad Bunny? Why do you have to watch any stage at all? Or they will say things like, but God is saving people through the mention of his name. Yes, absolutely. God uses evil and those who do not serve him for his purpose and his good. But there's a difference between praising this deception like it's a real revival and calling it out for what it really is, a counterfeit Jesus on a political stage. The man literally got up, sang about hookers and drugs, and then slapped the name of Jesus on the end, and because of that, it's all okay. Dang. Don't some of you see how that works? This is the world's stage. The Bible warns us that Satan is the god of this world. The Bible also warns us that Satan masquerades as an angel of light, and that his followers masquerade as servants of righteousness. Some of you need to start putting all of that together. Now, we can absolutely praise the Lord that he uses everything for his good. But here's the point, y'all. Here's the problem. There is a fake, watered down, counterfeit Christianity rising. One where people don't meet Jesus. They meet a watered down, political, bloodless version of his gospel. One that does not save. And that's the problem. The world stage is not the pulpit, but because the church isn't in the Bible anymore, they can't tell the difference. Jesus can absolutely save anybody. He can transform and change anybody. That is not the point. The point is that those on the world's stage do not continue to get used, get promoted. If they truly repent, if they truly get saved by God Almighty, they do not continue to get used on the world's stage. That's Why? True. Because the world is in the control of the evil one. We are living in the last seconds of the last days. And so many of you have just completely forgotten what Christ told us about the very times that we are living in right now. He said, do not be deceived. Everything that we are watching is MAGA Christianity. Satan is pushing a fake, watered down, bloodless version of the gospel so the masses miss the real one. He is pushing a patriotic, Americanized Jesus so the masses miss the real one. A bloodless gospel without repentance. And no wonder, because Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name drive out demons, and in your name perform many miracles? And then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. It is our job as followers of the Lord Jesus Christ to not only share the correct gospel, but it's also our job to point out the fake one, the bloodless one, the politicalized one, the one that is rising in these last days. We are called to point out the deception. That is our job. Christ expects us to use discernment to rightly judge this world, to be able to discern wolves in sheep's clothing, because Satan masquerades as an angel of light. If everybody who says the name of Jesus is automatically saved, then how are we ever able to discern wolves in sheep's clothing? How are we ever able to discern the enemy's lie? Y'all, it's our job to heed the warnings of the Father. It's our job to know our enemy and to recognize the times that we are living in. The foundation for the greatest deception this world has ever seen is currently being laid. And guess what? It looks Christian. Millions are praising.
That's why I didn't watch either one of them. I never listened to Chris Rock. I don't listen to country music, so I don't know about all these other acts. And I just thought it just sounded very secular to me anyway, all the acts that they had lined up. And we already knew Bad Bunny was going to be bad. But that's why I said in my video, you can go check my video from 2 days ago. I was like, you just always have to have your armor on. And I guess when you do, maybe it's age, I don't know, or having discernment by questioning. Like, we got rid of Netflix. We don't support Disney. We won't go see a Disney movie. And one of my relatives take my kid to a Disney movie. I got mad. Like, why y'all going to this movie? He was going to it was a Christian at a church day camp. This was like two summers ago. Yeah, it wasn't last summer. It was the summer prior to that. So he gets in, he's 15 now, so he was 13. And he said, yeah, they played a Disney movie, and it was one of the newer ones. Because once a week they would have these special things that they would go do. Either they'd go to the lake, or they'd go to a movie. They just do different things, or they'd go to the zoo or whatever. And this particular day they went to a movie, and he told me he said something to the directors that were there, because my kid pointed out to them. He said this movie had inappropriate stuff in there. It was implying that they had two dads. And they reprimanded him. They said, no, it didn't. We've watched this. No, it didn't. I said, what? Because I picked him up that day. And he told me. He told me about the scene in the movie. He recognized it. He said the other kids probably, it was very subtle. It was passing. But he picked up on it. And this is what Disney has been doing, brain rotting your small children, that they're not comprehending what they're seeing, but guess what? It's there. It's there, and it's always going to be there. So this other stuff that comes around, like the men dressed up as drag wants to dance in front of the kids and do all of this stuff. So later on, this actually comes more susceptible to these younger people who are going to be adults in society, who is going to give in to this evil. But I agree with her. I didn't choose any of them. I watched something else that was educational. Plus, it was a Sunday. Nobody's even saying anything. I did mention this. I don't know if I did yesterday in the video before. I said it was on a Sunday. And this filth was laid at the day of God. Told we need to be resting. And they had this filth in the Super Bowl. All of you should be ashamed if you watched it. Stop promoting this stuff. Stop it. Draw the line and stop it. All right, here we go. We're going to end the show with a funny. The creator who broke the internet with the King of the Jungle AI video that depicted the Obamas as monkeys, which was accidentally screen recorded by an intern, just dropped a new Power Rangers trailer featuring the Obamas amid the chaos. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
There's two giant apes.
This thing is supposed to give us powers. Let's do it. Mastodon.
Pterodactyl!
Triceratops.
Saber-toothed tiger!
Tyrannosaurus.
Why does it have 3 legs?
That's not his leg. Yeah. Okay, let's get him. Get him, Michael!
There's two giant apes.
This thing is supposed to give us powers.
Yeah, it was funny. It was funny. But anyway, there you have it. We only had one more story, but this went long. I think we're going to cut it. I did pretty good, though. I got through most of the stack of stuff. I think this was on what I was telling y'all about. Remember when the illegal MS-13 gang members were caught sacrificing teenagers and trafficking them for satanic rituals? This is what the Democrat Party is fighting to keep your cities, to live amongst you and your children. And this was a true story. They pled guilty. They were caught. And I think they did kill somebody. They did kill one of the girls. But that they were, one of the girls had said that they were being transported from different apartments. They would move. They would move around, and they were force-fed drugs and drink to keep them docile, I guess, and compliant or whatever. But thank God they were caught. Yeah, maybe there's a nice place in hell for them, but God will judge them soon enough, now won't they? Now, like and subscribe. And let me know what you think about all the things we talked about today. And make sure you never, ever be